Hey guys, it's Esteban again with Incognitistic. I want to talk about a very controversial topic, and it's long overdue. I've been watching many videos on it, a lot of commentaries, even extreme breakdowns with AI. And of course, it has to do with law enforcement, and of course, it has to do with the immigrations and customs enforcements of the United States. And this is the Alex Pretti shooting, where the agent disarmed him because he was carrying a firearm legally per the Second Amendment and the laws of Minnesota. And he was protesting. He was caught up in a part where there was a female protester that was pushed away by an ICE agent, and he went between them and essentially tried to cause interference. So let's talk about that part. Immediately, I see the ICE agent pushing the female away, and I'm really not 100% sure what the cause of that was, but just for the hell of it, we're going to call that him pushing her because he felt fear for his safety and may have wanted to get distance from her. The other thing is that once the female is pushed away, Alex Pretti gets in between there, and that, if the first part is true, then him coming in between could be interfering with an investigation or an arrest of somebody who's wanting to cause harm to a law enforcement officer. So, justifiably, based on those two things, if they are correct, the ICE agent had the right to detain Pretti and take him into custody if he wanted to effect an arrest for interfering. Now, that's where the ambiguity comes in, because really you can tell that Pretti was not really doing anything but keeping a barrier between the agent and the female, had his hands exposed up, wasn't reaching for anything, and the agent essentially was trying to then apprehend him, takes him to the ground. Another agent comes into play, sees that there's a firearm that Pretti has, and as most law enforcement officers would, they would disarm the person before anything else could happen. Sorry, I had to pause for a second. There was a Black Hawk helicopter passing by. Anyhow, so what happens then is that the agent disarms Pretti and manages to take Pretti's firearm away from him. Not more than a second after, based on several videos and sound that can be heard, slowed down in enhancement, somehow the firearm that was removed from Pretti's waistband holster discharged. So that was an accidental discharge. And obviously, I doubt that the agent that took the firearm away from Pretti meant for it to discharge by itself or have it discharge. It just did it by itself. Maybe Pretti's firearm had a trigger job. Maybe the agent wasn't trained well enough to know how to take a firearm away from a suspect. I mean, there's too many variables to wonder about that part. The part that is unsatisfactory and leads to my belief that it's an extremely unjustified homicide is that when that firearm goes off, the agent next to Pretti that is watching this whole scenario happen, who possibly heard the firearm go off, I mean, I'm sure he did, starts shooting at Pretti, who's obviously disarmed. He's seen where Pretti's hands are. He sees Pretti just about on the ground with his back almost facing towards him. This is called contagious fire. Contagious fire is not justifiable as a means of deadly force by law enforcement officers. What makes it worse is that the contagious fire happened towards a victim who was visibly disarmed, and the officer firing saw where Pretti's hands were and his position. That's not right. That's bad training. So if you want to argue about the training portion, or any part of it, really, there was a whistleblower recently that testified again amongst Congress, who said that recently the ICE, the Immigration's Customs Enforcement, removed more than 250 hours of training, which included de-escalation and deadly force and Fourth Amendment, and Spanish, which is highly necessary because a lot of the job security that they have are Spanish speaking. So with that being said, with less training comes officers that are less equipped and less able to legally deal with a situation like that, like what was happening there. The other part is that the vetting process for ICE has been slashed to expedite mass hiring. So much so that a very, very outspoken reporter, who all you have to look at is her social media to see that she is very anti-ICE and anti-Trump administration, put in an application to become an ICE agent, went through the whole process without the background investigators of ICE batting an eye, and she made it in. They offered her the $50,000 bonus and told her that in 3 days she would be able to be in and get trained. That's again unsatisfactory. Just another way that negligence in the federal government when it comes to this agency is making all law enforcement look terrible. So, as a former law enforcement officer of 27 years and somebody who's extremely well trained in Fourth Amendment, use of deadly force, de-escalation, I feel that I can have a say and my opinion does matter. Anyhow, thanks for watching. Take care.